Okay, I'm standing, my mat is like going this way and I'm standing sideways on it. And we're gonna start with just some nice big hip circles. So your hands can go on your hips and you can have soft knees to start with. And we're just doing some nice big slow hip circles. Inhaling as your hips come across the front and exhaling as your hips go across the back. And if I turn sideways, you can kind of see that as my hips go forwards, I'm like pushing them forwards with my hands to get an increased stretch across the front of my hip here. And as your hips circle across the front and you give them a little bit of a gentle stretch, think about reaching your tailbone down so that the stretch doesn't migrate into your lower back. And then let's go ahead and switch direction. Circle the other way. Do one more nice big hip circle. Okay, and then with your feet still out wide, you're going to bend your knees, sink your hips down. You're thinking about really actively squeezing your bum, so you're like pulling your knees towards the wall behind you. Your hands can come onto the insides of your knees. With your inhale, I want you to lengthen your spine up really, really tall. Think about tucking your butt under. So again, if you were to look at me from the side, I'm not here. I'm like really upright, really reaching my tailbone down, and then really actively pulling my knees back. And then with an exhale, you can twist. Inhale, come through the center. Exhale, twist. One more time. Inhale through the center. Exhale, twist. Last one. Inhale through the center. Exhale, twist. And then you can bring your hips up, come into a wide leg forward fold, and just gently wiggle your hips from side to side here. Let your head hang really heavy. You could hold on to opposite elbows if it feels good. Maybe shake your head no, or nod your head yes. And then we'll bring the hands down to the ground and we'll come all the way down to a seat. So sitting on the ground, we're going to come back down to our elbows here. And we'll have one leg stretched out straight. The bent leg is going to be our working leg. So you're going to take the bent leg and you're going to do some big hip circles with it here. We're going to do about 8 in each direction. And I'm inhaling as the knee comes towards me, and then exhaling as I circle it out to the side. Go ahead and switch directions with that knee. Think about really squeezing the side of your bum to pull it out to the side as it circles around. And then you can go ahead and stretch that leg out and circle the other one. And switch direction. Try not to kick stuff. And kicking stuff over here. Awesome. And then shake your legs out a little bit. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do, again, is going to have one working leg, and one leg's just stretched out long on the ground. You're pulling your tummy in, so your lower back, if you can maybe see mine, is like kind of a straight line. We're not like collapsed. We're really engaging the core. We're pushing down through the elbows to keep the chest lifted here. You're going to keep one leg straight. And the other leg is just going to lift up as high as you can and then bring it back down. Lift up and bring it back down. And try and keep the lift slow and controlled. Really try and use your muscles and think about actively reaching out through the toe so that we're really starting to wake up those hip muscles. Let's do 2 more. And 1. We'll do the other side, exhaling as the leg lifts up towards you, inhaling to bring it back down. And try really hard to point that foot, make that leg super straight. Two more. And 1. And then shake those legs out. Hopefully your hip flexors did a bunch of stuff there. We're going to do 1 more leg activation in the same position. For this one, you're going to keep one leg straight, the other leg's going to lift up, and then it's going to open to the side and come back in. We're just trying to wake up the inner thigh. We're thinking about turning the leg out actively, almost so that like the knee and the top of the foot would point towards the floor when it's out to the side. And you should hopefully feel your inner thighs working really hard here. And then you can go ahead and switch legs. So we're bringing the leg up, and then we're bringing it out to the side, turning it out, and then exhale to bring it to the center. Inhale to bring it out to the side, exhale on the hard bit. Still thinking about pulling it towards our face as hard as we can. You're almost done. Let's do 1 more, last one. And then you can relax. You can lay the legs down. You can lay the torso down. And then we'll just gently windshield wipe the knees from side to side here. And then when you're ready, help yourself up to a seat. We're going to sit in this weird position. You guys will be familiar with it. We usually do our seated cat-cows from here. Today, we're going to stay sitting up really, really tall. And if you feel like sitting up tall is hard for you here, if your back is kind of rounding, I want you to grab your blocks and you're gonna sit them like side by side like this to make yourself a really good platform to sit on. And then you'll sit up really tall on top of the blocks. Sitting up tall is very important for this one. So from here, all you're gonna do is let your knees fall one way, trying really hard to keep both sit bones on the ground. Then you'll inhale through the center, exhale, let your knees fall the other way. Inhale through the center, exhale, let the knees fall. So that we're really working into that internal and external hip rotation. And you could also have your hands behind you to help prop you up if you need to. Again, inhaling across the center, exhaling for that rotation. And you might feel some weird pinching on this leg that's internally rotating. Try and take nice deep breaths into whatever weird sensations you do feel. We don't internally rotate a lot, so sometimes that stretch can be an odd one. Alright, now we're going to let the knees come all the way down to the ground. You can let one sit bone lift up a little bit when you do that. And then from here, we're sitting up really tall. We're trying really hard not to lean sideways. So I want you to try and stay sitting up really tall. And then you're going to take a deep breath in. And with your exhale, you're going to try and lift that knee up. And it might not lift very high to begin with. This is kind of a weird one. You should feel your side butt muscles working. So we're exhaling to rotate up, inhaling to rotate down. Let's try and keep both hands off of the leg. Try and really use just the hip muscles to rotate. Even if it means that your leg just comes up this much, this is totally fine. You just want to gently wake that hip up. Good. Let's do 2 more. And 1. And then let's bring the knees across the center, over to the other side. So again, both of the hands are in front here. We're trying really hard not to lean back, really hard not to lean sideways to get the knee up. We're sitting up really, really tall. And then with the inhale, we're bringing the knee up. And then exhale, bring it down. Inhale, knee comes up. Exhale, knee comes down. Let's do 2 more. Awesome. Okay. Stick your legs out in front of you. Give them a little shake. And then grab a block. So I want you to sit in a butterfly shape. And again, if you feel like when you're sitting in your butterfly shape, your back is rounding like this, I want you to take your other block and I want you to sit on top of it, because we want to really give our hips enough room for them to pelvic tilt forwards. So if I take off my enormous baggy shirt, we want our hips to not be back here. We want to really think about actively rotating the pelvis forwards. And that's going to be really important for helping us open up our inner thighs. So, you're sitting in butterfly, and I want you to do this weird butterfly where you have one foot directly in front of the other. Now you're going to take a block, and you're going to tuck a block underneath the front foot. And that's going to help us get really into this hip on the foot that's in front. And the other leg is just kind of hanging out for right now. So the first thing that I want you to do is sit up really, really tall. And you can kind of hold on to this block here to help you roll your shoulders down and back, reach your chest out. Inhale, sit up really tall. And then with your exhale, you can bring your hand onto just the inner thigh above the knee and gently push down. And then inhale and release. And exhale, gently push down to give it a little bit of a stretch. So hopefully you're feeling this in your glutes. And if you're feeling a lot of stretch here, I want you to stick with this one. So just think about putting a little bit of weight on this knee and feeling a stretch through this glute. And you can slide that foot further away from you if you need to create enough space to sit. And don't forget that you can also sit on a block if you need to. If you're feeling pretty good, you're going to inhale, sit up really tall, and then with your exhale, you can start to fold forwards. And I'm kind of using this elbow to keep giving my knees some weight as I lean my tummy forwards. And don't forget to breathe. With each inhale, think about lengthening your spine. Maybe come out of the pose a little bit. And with each exhale, maybe come a little bit deeper. And then when you're ready, with an inhale, come on up. Stick your legs out in front of you, give them a shake. And we're going to go straight over to the other side. So you're going to stick the other foot on top of the block. And remember that both sides of your body are different, so don't be afraid to grab your other block and sit on top of it if you need to on this side. That's really going to help find more space. We've got that front foot on top of our block. We're inhaling, we're sitting up really tall. And then to start with, we're just exhaling and gently opening this knee. We're not going too far to begin with. And then inhale, relax. Exhale, gently open. And hopefully you're feeling a stretch back here in this glute. And then option one, stick with this. If you feel really good, you can bring both hands onto your block. Inhale, sit up really tall. And then with your exhale, think about leaning forwards and using your elbow to weight that leg. And we want to really think about keeping the spine long, sticking the tail out behind us so that the belly button's reaching forwards. And then come on out. You can lose the block. You can give your legs a little shake. Thumbs up if you're doing okay. Incredible. Okay. So we're going to do one more in this weird, awkward one foot on the block shape. So you're going to, again, be sitting up nice and tall. Same rules apply. Anytime your hips tilt backwards, stick a block under your bum, okay? So you could be here for this next one, and we really want to think about rotating the pelvis forwards. And if you're sitting on a block to help your pelvis rotate forwards, then you can have this foot on the floor if you need to make the stretch more accessible. You can also put it up on a block if you want to, but I'm going to leave that up to you. The other thing that I want you guys to be really mindful of is that you're keeping this foot engaged. It doesn't have to be like pretty and pointed or like flexed specifically, but I want some activity in the lower leg muscles so that we're really protecting the ankle and the knee joint. And then variation 2 would be losing the block. And we're going to stick the other leg out straight. It doesn't need to be like completely in line with your hip. We just want it to be like extended. So it could be like here, however wide feels good. Okay? And then I've got my right leg stretched out, so I'm going to bring my right hand onto my block or onto my ankle or onto my foot, wherever feels good for you. Then we're going to take the left arm, we're going to reach it up really tall. And then all we're going to do is a gentle side stretch. We don't want to tip over too far because we really want to keep both sit bones flat on the ground. This is a stretch for the side of the body mostly. The other thing that we want to do is deep breath in and then exhale. See if you can twist and look up towards the ceiling. So when I'm doing this one, I'll inhale and untwist, and then I'll exhale and twist. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist. We'll do one more nice deep breath in here. And then with your inhale, you can come back up to sitting. And we'll go ahead and switch sides. Okay, so same arm as the outstretched leg. So for me, my left arm is going to hang onto my block, or my ankle, or my foot, or whatever feels comfy in this general region. The other arm's going to go up by my ear, and I'm going to gently reach over a little bit to the side. So we really want to try and keep both sides of the body long, and we really want to keep this sit bone on the ground or the block or whatever it's resting on. And then with an inhale, we'll untwist. Exhale, twist, look up towards the ceiling. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come on back up to the center. And again, you can shake your legs out. So for this next one, again, you're going to notice a trend. We really want those hips to rotate forwards. So grab some blocks and sit on them. You can stack your blocks up side by side so you have a nice little platform so you're not going to like fall off of it. One block can be a little small sometimes. And then we're going to straighten both of our legs. So we're sitting up really tall, the legs are straight, and we're thinking about really actively reaching the tailbone out behind us. The other thing that I want you to think about is we don't want the knees to point forwards like this. We want to really try and rotate from the hip joint to make the knees and the feet point up at the ceiling. So take a second, wiggle your legs around a little bit, see if you can make that happen. And we want the movement to really come from up here, from the glutes, inside the hip joint. And then I want you to stop with your knees pointing up. Nice. Then bring your hands up next to your ears. Keep your spine really long and see if you can lean forwards a little bit. And then come back up. Lean forwards. And come back up. And we're only leaning as far forwards as we can keep the spine long. So if you were to look at me from the side, this is me. I'm sitting on my blocks. My hands are up by my ears. I'm leaning forwards with a very straight spine, right? We don't want to lean forwards like this, because we want the movement to come from the pelvis rotating, not from the spine rounding and arching. So you can think about pushing your heels down into the ground and really actively rotating the legs so that that movement can come from the hip joint. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And then you can tip forwards and bring your hands onto the ground. So we're really thinking about sticking the tail out behind us, making the spine really long. And then you can maybe wiggle your fingertips a little bit forwards. And then check in, take a look at your knees. Make sure this didn't happen. We want to really rotate from that hip joint. Lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, maybe lean a little bit further. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, try and relax. And then inhale and come on back up. Then you can kind of round your back, stick your legs out in front of you, shake it out. Hopefully you're feeling kind of warm now. You know I'm feeling pretty darn warm. Okay, so we're actually going to just stick our blocks off to the side for the next thing. I think you guys are both on carpet, so you should be okay. But I'm going to use a blankie because I am not. So we're going to do a froggy pose. For your frog, you want your knees to stay in line with your hips. And we're going to want our feet to stay in line with our knees. So we're just going to slide our legs apart like this with our knees at a 90-degree angle. And we want to try and keep the hips in line with the knees. So we don't want to let them sink super far back. We don't want them to come really far forwards either. But you can kind of gently wiggle back and forth to figure out where the deepest stretch is for you. And hopefully you're feeling this on your inner thighs. And if it feels good, you could come down to your elbows. You could also stay on your hands if that feels better. Okay, so now that we're here in our frog stretch, you're going to take a deep breath in. And then with your exhale, you're going to see if you can lift one foot up into internal rotation. And then inhale, bring it back down. Exhale, lift the foot up. Inhale, bring it back down. And we're just going to go back and forth. We're going to alternate sides a little bit. And we're going to try really hard not to shift our hips out to get our foot up high. We want to try and keep our hips exactly where they are as we rotate the foot up. And it might not go very far. It might just shake and lift like maybe an inch, and that's totally fine. Nice. And then if it feels good and you can kind of reach without twisting your hips out of alignment, you can like grab your foot and help it go a little bit further. But again, we want to make sure that the hip doesn't like rotate forwards to get that foot up. You might not be able to reach. It's like a hard one to figure out. And then when you're ready, you can help yourself back up onto your hands. And then we'll gently squeeze the legs together. And come back to hands and knees. And then we'll just do some circles with the hips here. Just wiggle them around a little bit. And switch directions, circle the hips the other way. And then tuck the toes under. With an inhale, press up and back to down dog. And then you can wiggle out through your feet. Maybe inhale, rise up on your toes. And exhale, sink your heels down. Let's do that a couple of times. Inhale, rise up on your toes. Exhale, sink the heels down. One more time. Inhale, rise up on the toes. Exhale, sink the heels down. And then with your inhale, round your back, ripple forwards, come up to a high plank. Wrists under your shoulders, tummy pulled in, butt tucked under. Take a nice deep breath in. And then a nice deep breath out. And then with your inhale, bring your hips up and back to down dog. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, around your back, ripple forwards, high plank. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then inhale, hips come up and back to down dog. Now with your next inhale, we're going to reach one foot up towards the sky, keeping all 5 toes and your hip bone pointing down towards the floor. And then with your exhale, you're going to take that foot and you're going to step it all the way up next to your hands. Amazing. So we want to end up in a long lunge shape. And then we're going to spin that back foot out. So I'm lifting my hips, I'm turning my back foot out. And then we're going to cartwheel the arms up. So we're standing in a warrior 2. So in your front leg of your warrior, I want you to really think about squeezing those butt muscles that we just worked on so that our hips can point this way while our knee points that way. We want our knee to track over top of our foot. We don't want it to fall inwards. And then pull your tummy in, tuck your butt under, reach your arms up by your shoulders. Think about really pressing the weight into the pinky toe edge of that back foot to protect that back knee. Take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, bend a little bit more. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, bend. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, bend. With your inhale, come up to a wide leg forward fold. Heel toe your feet a little bit closer. And then clasp your hands behind your back. Try and make the entire palm of your hand touch. Squeeze your shoulder blades down, reach those hands down behind you. And then fold forwards. Think about really actively squeezing the shoulder blades as you reach with the hands out and away. And let your head hang heavy. Maybe shake your head no. Maybe nod your head yes. And then keep squeezing the shoulder blades together. Keep reaching with the hands and lift all the way back up to standing. Really use your hands to pull you back up. And then we're going to spin the other foot out. Check in, make sure that the weight's in the pinky toe edge of this back foot. And make sure that the heel of the front foot intersects with the arch of the back foot. And then you're going to bend this front knee. You're going to pull your tummy and you're going to try and make both hip bones point towards knee while you squeeze your butt and make your knee point the other way. So it's those same muscles we were just torturing on the floor. Arms up by the shoulders. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Maybe bend a little deeper. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One more time, really reach through that back leg, make that back leg straight. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then cartwheel the arms down, spin on the back foot, come to a long lunge on the other side. Nice. Plant the hands. We're going to step that foot all the way back to a downward dog. Nice. With your inhale, round your back, ripple forwards, high plank. Exhale, hips up and back. And then inhale, round the back, come forwards, bend the knees, float them 1 inch off of the ground. Keep pulling your tummy in and stay. And stay. Knees are 1 inch above the ground. Take one more nice deep breath in. And then exhale, land the knees. Bring your bum back, come to a child's pose. Grounding your back, reaching your arms forwards along the mat, bringing your bum all the way down to your heels. Take a nice long deep breath in, and a nice long sigh out. One more time, nice long deep breath in. Nice long sigh out. And then inhale and lift up a little bit. You're going to take one arm and you're going to dive it underneath at like a 45-degree angle. So we don't want it to be right in line with the shoulder. We want it up a little bit. And then we're just going to lay back down on top of that arm to gently stretch that shoulder. And continue taking nice, long, deep breaths. And then with your inhale, lift yourself up. We'll go ahead and switch arms. Exhaling as you sink down into that stretch. And then inhale, come back to child's pose. We're going to bring the chest forwards and slide onto the tummy. So we want the tops of the feet pressed into the ground. We want the legs really active here. And then we're going to bring the hands a little bit wider than the mat and forwards. And you're going to imagine that there's like a little marble on the ground in front of your nose. With your inhale, using your hands as little as possible, you're going to roll that marble forwards with your nose and lift your chest up as high as you can with your back muscles. When you don't feel like you can lift it up any higher, you're going to use your hands to help you come up to the last little bit. Think about pulling your tummy in, tucking your bum under, roll your shoulders down and back, make your chest really wide open. Then, with an inhale, we're going to do a cat-cow here. So with your inhale, you're going to round your back, and then exhale, roll your shoulders down and back and arch. Inhale, round. Exhale, arch. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, round. Exhale, arch. Now, we're going to try and stay up as high as we can. Take our hands off the ground. Stay lifted, stay lifted. And then exhale, slowly roll back down. Make a pillow with your hands. Place your forehead on the pillow and then gently wiggle your hips from side to side. Now this time, we're again going to bring our hands a little bit wider than the mat, a little bit in front of our shoulders. With our inhale, we're going to round our back as we ripple upwards, and then we're going to exhale and arch. So with your inhale, you're going to round your back to come up, and then exhale, arch, and actively traction your hands towards your hips as you ripple back down. Inhale, round up. Exhale, arch down. One more time. Inhale, round up. Exhaling to arch down. Okay, so for the next one, you have a couple of options. Option one, you're going to bend your knee and you're going to bring your knee out to the side like this. And then you're just going to come up to a little baby elbow cobra. You're pulling your tummy in, you're tucking your bum under, you're actively pulling your elbows towards your hips to gently stretch out your psoas on the side of the extended leg. So my right side is the one that's stretching right now. If you would like a little bit more, then you can help yourself up to your hands. But we really don't want to feel any crunching in the lower back here. So we're really pulling the tummy in, we're tucking the bum under, and we're feeling a stretch through the front, through the psoas and the hip flexor of the extended leg. Roll those shoulders down and back. Think about being long and tall. Find space through the spine. And then when you're ready, you're going to keep that one leg where it is, and you're going to come back down to your elbows. You're going to thread your arm underneath to open to a twist. And if that other arm is dangling in space and that's uncomfortable for you, you could rest it on a block or something like that. And then take a nice deep breath in. And a long breath out. Deep breath in. Long breath out. One more time, deep breath in. Long breath out. And then with your inhale, you're going to roll yourself all the way back onto your tummy. Make a pillow with your hands. Gently shake your hips from side to side. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring the other knee up to the side. And then again, for variation 1, again, you just come up onto your elbows. You think about really actively tractioning your elbows towards your hips to help stretch out the front of your body. For a little bit more, with an inhale, you can come up onto your hands. Again, thinking about pulling the tummy in, tucking the butt under. We don't want to feel any pinching, any weird sensations in the lower back. We're just going for a hip flexor stretch here. When you're ready, you can slowly come back down to your elbows, thread your arm through, and open into your twist. In your twist, think about breathing really deeply into the top side of your body, filling your lungs all the way up with every inhale. And then when you're ready, you're going to roll yourself all the way onto your back. Take a second to maybe windshield wipe your knees from side to side. Or maybe you could hug both knees into your chest. If it feels good, you could hold on to your feet. Stack your feet above your knees, pull your knees down to your armpits. Think about really actively lengthening and pressing your entire spine into the ground as you pull down on your knees. You could maybe rock gently from side to side, really releasing your spine. And then when you're ready, release your legs, stretch them out along your mat. Let your arms rest by your side. You can take a second to wiggle your hips around a little bit. Press the back of your head into the ground to lift your shoulders up, roll them down and back, and then resettle. And then when you're comfortable, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs all the way up. When you feel like you've breathed in as deeply as you can possibly breathe in, maybe sniff a little bit more air at the very top of your inhale. And then sigh out your mouth. Do that again. Take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs all the way up. Sniff a little bit of extra air in at the very top of your inhale. And take a long sigh out. And then with your next inhale, I want you to squeeze every single muscle in your body. Squeeze your hands, squeeze your feet, squeeze your abs, your quads, your face, even scrunch your face all the way up. And then exhale and relax. Do that again, scrunch every single muscle, squeeze everything you could possibly squeeze, scrunch it all the way up. And exhale, relax. And then keeping your eyes closed, focus on your breath. Without controlling it, just watch it flow in and out of your lungs. With each exhale, think about relaxing, releasing, melting, becoming heavy. Feel free to take a long sigh out your mouth whenever you need to. And when you're ready with your inhale, begin to deepen your breath. Maybe bring a little bit of movement to your fingertips and the tips of your toes. You could circle your wrists or your ankles. With an inhale, maybe stretch out long, reach your arms overhead. And then exhale, relax. Do that again, inhale, stretch out long, lengthen. Exhale, relax. And then when you're ready, make your way onto one side. Use your top hand as a press to help yourself up to a comfortable seat. And just pause for a moment sitting. Take one more last deep breath in. One more deep breath out. And then let your eyes open.